Well, in addition to that, too, they're coming off finals, so people are a little bit tired, and we're going out relatively early. So, one of the things we did, very simple, on Thursday in the afternoon, we just planned a little team outing to go to the movies as a group. Things that kind of get you out of the hotel. We'll have some athletes that'll go all the way until Sunday until they compete. They just have a final, and the 5,000 meters is the second to the last event on the last day. And so, you kind of have to work with the athletes, and it's something that, as they get older in their time with the program, they understand it a little bit better. Sometimes it's good to get them out early in the meet and get them going a little bit. And that's one of the unique things about track and field, is that different events call for different kinds of psyche as you go into it. I mean, in some events, being charged up is great, but when you go into a discus ring or a shot put ring, it's precision, and so you have to have a different mindset completely when you do that. And so that's, it's definitely a task.
Bigger picture, team goals going into the weekend?
Team goals going into the weekend, we're an improving team. We've got a strong core of guys that can do well in the conference. We have, Big Ten champions returning, and I think the goals will be different for different people. And, some guys, it's what we tell them when there's a prelim in the event. Goal number one is you got to make a final, because if you can't make a final, you can't score any points, and that's what this meet is all about. It's about scoring points for your team. So that's how we'll approach it.
Some of your MVPs, and I don't necessarily mean who are your best performers. I can see that on the statistics. But maybe who are some of the athletes that you think have maybe overperformed beyond their goals this year?
Nate Royce is a fourth-year guy with us. He's in his final season with us, and we didn't redshirt him. We took him straight through, and he's got a competitive drive. We've had a good 4x4 that's made the Nationals finals in the last year they did. And to watch Nate when he gets to stick in a relay race, you see a drive that's even greater than when in an open event. And so he's one of those kind of guys that's a little bit of a leader. And Mitch Hetchel's 800-meter runner, and a little bit of a quiet leader, but he also is a leader. So, in some of those middle distance running areas, we've got some guys who have been really helping us out, and the culture is good in those groups. And so, all of those guys that we put out on the track in those events, we're look at the 800 meters, and we're going to put 4 guys out there that we all think can make the final. And so, you have those key events, and as the conference has grown, and as we've gone to 14 teams, how it has affected track and field in some regards is that the marks that are needed to make a final are more elite. It's gone up, and it used to be a little bit different in how you'd build the conference team and how you'd build a team to do well at the national meet, and that's converging a little bit now because the conference has gotten so tough, and there's so many good athletes that schools are picking out certain events that we're going to be good at this or that, and by God, they are.
Coach, can I just ask you, we've talked about this before, but Derek Webke, how happy have you been to see his progression to where he's at right now?
Yeah, I mean, Derek was the guy who came in, and he reminded me of this. I told him on June the 9th, after his high school senior year, that it was okay for him to walk on and to be part of the team. We held the decision off until after the high school season was over, before we even gave him a spot on the roster. And for him to take that and 4 years later be a Big Ten champion is, speaks for itself. And I'd like to see him continue. Derek and Shane Strike are both going to be doubling in an 8 in the 15, and we need their contribution in both. And this is probably the first year the Big Ten schedule has changed at the meet, so we'll be running more events on Friday. The meet is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And because the prelims of the 15 have been moved to Friday, that opens up the possibility for the 8:15 double, which is a tough double, because on Sunday they'd have to run finals within an hour of each other. So we're kind of looking at that. But as far as Derek, he and Shane have been great training partners, and I've seen them both help each other grow significantly in the last year.
I may have missed it at the start if you answered this already, I'm sorry, but how has how does the conference stack up? Can you win this, and who are the teams you'll be fighting with for this?
You know, on paper, the marks that have gone down so far, we're going to be hard pressed to win the competition. I think, you know, Nebraska is tough, Iowa's tough, but you know, you don't perform the meet on paper. You do it with events, and usually one thing I found about our Minnesota kids is that they have a tendency to step up on Big Ten weekend, and that's what we're going to be asking them to do. So, you know, we want to have a very, very respectable performance, but it might be a stretch for this team to win the conference championship.